There is a pattern in your life that you have been repeating for longer than you realize. And deep down, you already know what it is. You have felt it in the way certain situations keep showing up, in the way certain conversations always end the same way, in the way you keep arriving at the same emotional dead end no matter how many times you promise yourself it will be different this time. Scorpio, this is not random. This is not bad luck. This is a cycle, and it has been running in the background of your life like a program you forgot you installed. Today we are going to walk through something that most people in your sign are not ready to hear. But you are. You are here because something inside you shifted. Maybe it was recent. Maybe it happened slowly over months. But there is a reason you clicked on this, and it was not curiosity alone. It was recognition. You recognize the title because you have been living it. And by the time we finish here today, you are going to understand not only what that pattern is, but why it has held so much power over you, and more importantly, how you finally release it. So stay with me. Do not skip ahead. Do not leave early. What you need to hear might come in the last few minutes, and missing it could mean another full rotation through the same cycle you are trying to escape. Tip 1. You have been confusing intensity for connection, and it has cost you more than you realize. Scorpio, let us start with the thing that runs deepest in your nature. Intensity. You feel everything at a level that most people cannot even imagine. When you care about someone, you do not just care. You invest. You go all in. You open doors inside yourself that you keep locked from the rest of the world. And that kind of depth, that kind of emotional bravery is rare. It is powerful. But here is the problem. You have been mistaking that intensity for proof that a connection is real. You have been telling yourself that if something burns this hot, it must mean something. If it hurts this much, it must be important. If you cannot stop thinking about it, it must be love. And that belief has led you into situations that drained you, confused you, and left you wondering why you keep ending up in the same place. Intensity is not the same as compatibility. Intensity is not the same as respect. Intensity is not the same as someone being right for you. Sometimes intensity is just two unhealed wounds crashing into each other. Sometimes it is just familiarity disguised as fate. You grew up in an environment where emotions were either everything or nothing. There was no middle ground, and so you learned to associate strong feelings with meaning. If something felt overwhelming, it must be significant. If it felt calm, it must be boring. If it felt stable, something must be wrong. That programming has shaped every relationship you have entered, every friendship you have deepened, every professional partnership you have committed to. You have walked away from people who were genuinely good for you because it did not feel intense enough. And you have stayed with people who were slowly destroying your peace because the intensity made you feel alive. This is not a flaw. This is a survival pattern. When you were young, you needed that intensity to feel safe, to feel seen, to feel like you mattered. But you are not that person anymore. You have grown. You have changed. And the pattern has not caught up yet. Starting now, you need to redefine what connection means to you. Real connection does not always arrive like a storm. Sometimes it arrives like a sunrise, slow, warm, and steady. It does not shake you to your core. It holds you there. It does not make you question everything. It gives you answers you did not even know you were looking for. The next time you meet someone and it feels calm, do not run. Do not dismiss it. Do not tell yourself it is not enough. Ask yourself instead, is this peace? Is this what safety actually feels like? Because Scorpio, you have spent enough years chasing fire. It is time to see what happens when you let yourself be held by warmth instead. Tip 2. You keep giving people access to parts of you they have not earned, and then you are devastated when they mishandle what you gave them. This is one of the most painful patterns in your life, and it is one you probably do not even recognize as a pattern because it feels like it happens differently every time. But it does not. The faces change. The names change. The circumstances shift. But the core dynamic stays exactly the same. You meet someone. Something about them triggers that deep recognition you carry, that feeling of finally being understood. And once that switch flips, you open up. Not a little. Not cautiously. You open up completely. You hand them pieces of yourself that took years to build, that took enormous courage to even acknowledge. You share your fears, your wounds, your secret hopes, the things you have never told anyone else. And in that moment, it feels like relief. It feels like you have finally found someone who can hold the full weight of who you are. But here is what keeps happening. They cannot hold it. Not because they are bad people necessarily, but because they did not earn that level of access. They did not go through the process of proving themselves trustworthy. You skipped that part. You went straight from recognition to revelation, and you left out the entire middle section where trust is supposed to be built. Trust is not a feeling, Scorpio. Trust is a process. It is built through consistent action over time. It is built through small moments where someone shows you again and again that they can handle what you give them. But you do not operate that way. You operate on instinct. You operate on energy. And when your instinct tells you someone is safe, you hand them everything at once. The problem is that your instinct has been calibrated by your wounds. The people who feel the most familiar to you are often the ones who mirror your earliest emotional experiences. And those experiences were not always healthy. So you are drawn to people who feel like home, but home was not always a safe place. This pattern has left you feeling exposed, betrayed, and deeply distrustful of your own judgment. And that distrust is almost worse than the original wound because now you are not just hurt. You are confused. You start to wonder if you can ever trust anyone. You start to wonder if you are the problem. You start to build walls so high that no one can get in, and then you feel lonely, and then you overcorrect again and let someone in too fast, and the whole cycle repeats. Here is what needs to change. You need to create a new system, not a wall, a gate. A gate has an opening, but it also has a process. People can come in, but they come in one level at a time. They earn deeper access by showing you through their actions that they can handle what they have already been given. If someone handles your surface level truth with care, you give them a little more. If they handle that with respect, you go a little deeper. But if at any point they fumble what you gave them, you do not hand them the next piece. You pause. You observe. You protect what is sacred inside you. This is not about being guarded. This is about being wise. And wisdom, Scorpio, is the thing that finally breaks this cycle. If what you are hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That is exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. You have been holding on to anger that is no longer protecting you. It is imprisoning you. There was a time when your anger saved you. There was a time when that fire inside you was the only thing standing between you and complete destruction. Someone hurt you, someone crossed you, someone took something from you that you could never get back. And your anger was the wall that kept you standing. It gave you strength when you had none. It gave you a reason to keep going when everything else had been stripped away. And for that, your anger deserves to be honored. But Scorpio, that was then. And this is now. And the anger that once protected you has quietly transformed into something else entirely. It has become a cage. You are carrying resentments from years ago, sometimes decades ago, that are still taking up space inside you. Not because you want to hold on to them, but because you do not know how to let them go without feeling like you are letting the person who hurt you win. That is the trap. You have convinced yourself that releasing the anger means excusing the behavior. You believe that if you forgive, you are saying what happened was acceptable. You believe that if you move on, you are admitting that it did not matter. And so you hold on. You grip it tightly. You replay the moments in your mind. You rehearse conversations that will never happen. You imagine confrontations that would never satisfy you even if they did happen. And all the while, the person who hurt you is out there living their life, completely unaffected by the fire you are keeping alive inside your own chest. Here is what no one told you about anger, Scorpio. It is not a weapon you point at someone else. It is a furnace that burns inside you. And the longer you keep it lit, the more of yourself it consumes. Your energy, your creativity, your capacity for joy, your ability to trust, your willingness to try again. All of it is being fed into that furnace day after day, year after year. Forgiveness is not about them. It never was. Forgiveness is about you deciding that the fire has taken enough from you. It is about you choosing to reclaim the energy that has been locked up in that resentment and redirect it towards something that actually serves your life. You do not have to forgive all at once. You do not have to feel warm and loving toward the person who hurt you. Forgiveness can be cold, can be practical. It can simply be the decision to stop carrying something that is not yours to carry anymore. Think of it this way. You have been walking through your life with a backpack full of stones. Each stone is a resentment, a grudge, a memory you refuse to release. And every day you add another stone, another slight, another betrayal, another moment where someone did not show up the way you needed them to. That backpack is getting heavier, Scorpio, and it is slowing you down. It is keeping you from reaching the places you are meant to go. Today you do not have to empty the entire backpack. Just put down one stone. Just one. Choose the oldest one, the one that has been in there the longest, the one that is so familiar you have forgotten it is even there. Set it down. Walk a few steps without it. Feel the difference. And then decide if maybe, just maybe, you are ready to put down another. Tip 4. You keep waiting for people to see your value without you ever showing it to them clearly. There is a quiet expectation you carry, Scorpio, and it has been running your relationships for longer than you realize. You believe that the right people should just know. They should see your depth without you having to spell it out. They should recognize your loyalty without you having to prove it. They should understand your love language without you having to explain it. And when they do not, when they miss the mark, when they fail to read between the lines, when they do not pick up on the signals you are sending, you take it as proof that they do not care enough. But here is what you have not considered. Most people are not wired the way you are. Most people do not read energy the way you do. Most people do not sit in silence and decode what someone is really feeling underneath their words. That is your gift. It is not everyone else's. You have been expecting the world to operate at your frequency, and when it does not, you withdraw. You pull back. You decide that if they cannot see it on their own, then they do not deserve to see it at all. And that withdrawal, that silent retreat, has cost you connections that could have been extraordinary. People have walked away from you not because they did not care, but because they genuinely did not know what you needed. They did not know you were hurting. They did not know you were testing them. They did not know that your silence was a scream they were supposed to hear. This is not their failure, Scorpio. This is a communication pattern that you learned early in life. You learned that expressing your needs directly was dangerous. Maybe you were told you were too much. Maybe you were punished for being honest about what you felt. Maybe you watched someone else get shut down for speaking up, and you decided right then that you would never put yourself in that position. So instead, you developed an entire system of indirect communication. You hint. You suggest. You create tests that people do not even know they are taking. And when they fail those tests, you use it as evidence to support the belief you have carried since childhood, that no one will ever truly understand you. But what if the problem is not that people cannot understand you? What if the problem is that you have never given them a fair chance to? What if the very thing you are withholding, your clear, honest, vulnerable expression of what you need, is the exact thing that would change everything? Speaking up does not make you weak, Scorpio. It makes you brave. It means you are willing to risk being seen, truly seen, in a way that goes beyond the mysterious, untouchable image you have spent years perfecting. You are not a riddle people need to solve. You are a person who deserves to be understood. But understanding requires information, and you have been hoarding information like a secret you are afraid to share. Start small. The next time someone you care about does something that bothers you, say it. Not with anger, not with sarcasm, not with a test designed to see if they figure it out on their own. Just say it plainly. Say what you felt. Say what you need. And then watch what happens. You might be stunned to discover that most people, when given clear information, actually want to show up for you. They just never knew how. Tip 5. You have been using control as a substitute for trust, and it is exhausting you from the inside out. Let us talk about something you probably will not admit out loud, Scorpio. You are a control seeker. Not in an aggressive, domineering way necessarily, although sometimes it shows up like that too. But more often, your need for control operates beneath the surface. It shows up in the way you manage information, in the way you position yourself in relationships, in the way you always need to know what is happening before anyone else does. You track patterns. You read micro-expressions. You monitor shifts in tone, in energy, in body language. And you do all of this because somewhere deep inside you, you believe that if you can just stay one step ahead, no one will ever be able to hurt you again. This is your version of safety. This is how you protect yourself. But it is also how you exhaust yourself. Because you cannot control everything, Scorpio. You cannot predict every outcome. You cannot manage every variable. You cannot read every person's mind. And the attempt to do so is draining you of energy that could be going toward actually living your life instead of just guarding it. Think about how much mental energy you spend each day just monitoring people's moods, monitoring situations for potential threats, monitoring your environment for signs that something is about to go wrong. That constant vigilance is not free. Costs you sleep, costs you peace. It costs you the ability to be fully present in moments that should be joyful. You are so busy scanning for danger that you miss the beauty that is right in front of you. And here is the deeper truth. The control does not actually protect you. It just gives you the illusion of protection. Because the things that have hurt you most in your life were not things you could have prevented through vigilance. They were things that happened despite your best efforts to stay ahead of them. The betrayal you did not see coming. The loss you could not have predicted. The moment when everything fell apart even though you had done everything right. Those moments taught you that the world is not safe. And your response was to try harder, to control more, to watch more carefully. But what if the lesson was different? What if those moments were teaching you that control was never the answer in the first place? What if the real safety you are looking for can only be found through surrender? Not giving up, but letting go of the need to manage every single thing. Trust is the opposite of control. Trust says, I do not know what is going to happen, and I am choosing to be here anyway. Trust says, I cannot predict this person's next move, but I am choosing to believe in their intentions. Trust says, I am willing to be vulnerable, even though vulnerability has hurt me before. That is terrifying for you. I know it is. Your entire system is built to avoid that kind of exposure. But Scorpio, the cage you have built to keep yourself safe is the same cage that is keeping you small. And you were not made to be small. You were made to be vast and deep and open in ways that most people will never understand. Let go of one thing today. Just one thing you have been trying to control. Let it unfold on its own. Let someone else handle it. Let the outcome surprise you. And notice how even though it feels uncomfortable, you survive. You always survive. That is your superpower. Not control. Survival. And you do not need to grip so tightly to something you are always going to make it through. Tip 6. You have been punishing yourself for things that were never your fault, and you have gotten so used to it that you do not even notice you are doing it. There is a quiet form of self-punishment that runs through your life, Scorpio, and it is so deeply embedded in who you are that you might not even recognize it as punishment. You think it is just the way you are. You think it is discipline. You think it is being hard on yourself because you have high standards. But that is not what this is. This is guilt that has been living inside you for years, maybe decades, and it has been running your decisions without your permission. Somewhere along the way, you absorb the belief that when things go wrong, it is because of something you did or something you failed to do. When a relationship ended, you took the blame. When someone treated you badly, you searched for what you did to invite it. When an opportunity fell through, you assumed it was because you were not good enough, not prepared enough, not worthy enough. And you have carried those conclusions with you like fact, like unshakable truth, even though most of them were never true to begin with. You did not cause the chaos that surrounded you growing up. You did not invite the mistreatment that certain people brought into your life. You did not fail the situations that were designed to fail you, but you took responsibility for all of it anyway, because taking responsibility gave you a sense of control. If it was your fault, then at least you could fix it. If it was your fault, then at least there was a reason. If it was your fault, then maybe next time you could do better and avoid the pain. But what if it was never your fault? What happens to all that guilt you have been carrying? What happens to all those years of self-punishment, of denying yourself happiness, of sabotaging good things because you did not believe you deserved them? This is where the real work begins. Because releasing guilt is not just about saying the words. It is not just about telling yourself it was not your fault and hoping you believe it. It is about restructuring the entire foundation of how you see yourself. You have built your identity around being the one who takes the blame. You are the strong one, the responsible one, the one who can handle it. And some of that is real strength. But some of it is just an old wound wearing the mask of virtue. You do not have to carry the weight of everyone else's choices. You do not have to absorb the consequences of things you did not create. You do not have to keep paying for moments that are already over. The debt is settled, Scorpio. It was settled a long time ago. You just never stopped making payments. Start paying attention to the ways you deny yourself. the way you say no to things that would make you happy, the way you choose the harder path when an easier one is available, not because the harder path is better but because you do not think you deserve the easier one, the way you downplay your accomplishments, the way you refuse to accept compliments, the way you always find something wrong with yourself even when everything is going right. These are all forms of self-punishment, and they are so subtle, so ingrained, that they feel like personality traits instead of patterns you can change. But you can change them, and you start by simply noticing them. Every time you catch yourself choosing suffering over ease, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it is genuinely the right choice, or am I doing this because I do not believe I deserve the alternative? The answer might surprise you, and that surprise is the beginning of your freedom. Tip 7. You keep replaying conversations and situations in your mind, and that mental loop is stealing your present moment. If there is one thing that separates you from almost every other sign, Scorpio, it is the depth of your inner world. Your mind is not just active, it is relentless. It never stops processing, analyzing, deconstructing. And while that makes you incredibly perceptive, it also makes you incredibly vulnerable to a specific trap. The replay loop. You know exactly what I am talking about. That conversation from 3 years ago that you still run through your mind at 2 in the morning. The look someone gave you that you have analyzed from every possible angle. The moment you said the wrong thing and have relived it hundreds of times, each time finding a new layer of shame or regret to extract from it. Your mind is a museum of every painful moment you have ever experienced, and you visit it far more often than you visit anything beautiful in your present life. This is not reflection. Reflection has a purpose. Reflection leads to insight. Reflection helps you grow. What you are doing is rumination, and rumination does not lead anywhere. It is a closed loop. It takes you back to the same moment, the same feelings, the same conclusions over and over again without ever offering you anything new. It just reinforces what you already believe. That you messed up, that you should have known better, that you could have prevented the pain if you had just been smarter, faster, more aware. And every time you complete another lap of that loop, the groove gets deeper. The pattern gets harder to break. The moment gets more powerful instead of less. You are essentially giving energy to something that is already over, feeding a ghost with your life force, and wondering why you feel so drained all the time. Here is what you need to understand about the past, Scorpio. It is finished. It is done. It does not exist anywhere except inside your mind. The people involved have moved on. The situation has resolved itself one way or another. The words that were said have dissipated into silence. The only thing keeping it alive is your attention, and your attention is the most valuable resource you have. Where you put it determines everything. Your mood, your energy, your health, your relationships, your ability to move forward. And right now, a significant portion of your attention is locked in the past, running loops that serve no purpose except to keep you stuck. Breaking this pattern requires a deliberate shift. Every time you catch yourself replaying a moment, you need to interrupt the loop. Not by fighting it, not by telling yourself to stop thinking about it. That never works. Instead, you redirect. You pull your attention to something happening right now. Something physical, something sensory, something immediate. The sound in the room, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the temperature of the air on your skin. You anchor yourself in the present moment because the present moment is the only place where change can happen. The past is where your pain lives. The future is where your anxiety lives. But the present is where your power lives. And every second you spend in the replay loop is a second stolen from the only moment that actually matters. This one. Start practicing this today. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Today. Because the loop has been running for years, and it will not stop on its own. You have to be the one who interrupts it. You have to be the one who decides that this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, is more important than anything that has already happened. And it is, Scorpio. Truly is. Tip 8. You have been telling yourself a story about who you are, and that story is no longer true. Every person carries a narrative about themselves, Scorpio. A story that explains who they are, why they are the way they are, and what they can expect from life. Your story was written a long time ago. It was written during some of the most intense, most painful, most formative moments of your life. And at the time it was accurate. It reflected your reality. It helped you make sense of a world that did not always make sense. But here is the thing about stories. they become outdated. Life changes. You change. The circumstances that shaped your original narrative have shifted, sometimes dramatically, but the story stays the same. You are still telling yourself the same things you decided were true when you were young, when you were hurt, when you were trying to survive. And those things may have been true then, but they are not true now. Maybe your story says that you are too intense for people. Maybe it says that you will always be misunderstood. Maybe it says that love always ends in betrayal. Maybe it says that you have to do everything alone because no one else can be trusted. Maybe it says that vulnerability is weakness. Maybe it says that you are fundamentally different from everyone else, and that difference means you will always be on the outside looking in. These are powerful narratives, and because they were forged in pain, they feel more real than anything else you believe about yourself. Pain has a way of etching things into your mind with permanent ink. But permanent ink can be written over, can be covered with something new, something truer, something that reflects who you actually are today, not who you were forced to become in order to survive. You are not the same person who wrote that story. You have lived through things since then that have expanded you, softened you, strengthened you in ways that old narrative cannot account for. You have shown kindness that your old story would call weakness. You have opened up to people that your old story would have told you to avoid. You have survived things that your old story said would destroy you. And yet the story persists. Persists because you keep telling it. Every time you introduce yourself to someone new, you are filtering through that old narrative. Every time you enter a new situation, you are expecting the outcomes your old story predicted. Every time something good happens, your old story whispers that it will not last, that something bad is coming, that you should not get comfortable. You are living inside a framework that was built for a life you no longer live. And it is time to build a new one. This does not mean erasing the past. Your past is part of you, and the strength you gain from it is real and valuable. But there is a difference between honoring your past and being imprisoned by it. You can acknowledge where you have been without letting it dictate where you are going. Start rewriting the story today. Not all at once, just one line at a time. Instead of saying I am too intense, try saying my depth is a gift that the right people will treasure. Instead of saying love always ends in betrayal, try saying I am learning what healthy love looks like, and I am open to it. Instead of saying I have to do everything alone, try saying I am learning to let people in, one step at a time. These are not affirmations you paste on a mirror. These are corrections to a narrative that has been running your life from the shadows. And every time you correct it, even slightly, you create space for something new to enter. Something you could never have imagined when you were living inside the old story. Something better. Something true. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This is not about waiting. It is about moving. Tip 9. You have been afraid to want things fully because wanting something means it can be taken from you. There is a very specific kind of pain that you know intimately, Scorpio. The pain of wanting something deeply and then losing it. And that pain was so sharp, so devastating, that at some point you made an unconscious decision. You would never let yourself want something that fully again. Because if you do not want it, it cannot hurt you when it goes. If you do not hope, you cannot be disappointed. If you do not invest, you cannot lose. This is your version of emotional insurance. You keep your expectations low, your attachments minimal, your excitement contained. You tell yourself you are being realistic. You tell yourself you are being practical. You tell yourself that hoping for something is foolish, that expecting good things is naive, that people who walk around excited about the future are just setting themselves up for devastation. But Scorpio, that is not wisdom. That is fear wearing a very convincing disguise. And it has been robbing you of experiences that could have changed your life. Think about the opportunities you did not pursue because you convinced yourself they would not work out. Think about the relationships you sabotaged before they could get deep enough to hurt you. Think about the dreams you buried because wanting them felt too dangerous, too exposed, too vulnerable. You have been living at half volume and you have been calling it strength. But muting your desires is not strength. It is protection, and there is a crucial difference. Strength says, I want this, and I am willing to face whatever comes. Protection says, I will not want this, so I do not have to face anything at all. And you have been choosing protection for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to fully want something without immediately bracing for its loss. This pattern shows up in ways you might not expect. It shows up when someone gives you a compliment and you deflect it. It shows up when something good happens and your first thought is wondering when the other shoe will drop. It shows up when you are on the edge of happiness and you pull yourself back because happiness feels unsafe, because happiness means you have something to lose, and losing is the one thing you cannot handle. But here is what you need to understand. You have already survived loss. You have already been through the worst of it. The thing you are trying to prevent has already happened, probably multiple times. And you are still here. You are still standing. You are still capable of feeling, of wanting, of hoping, of loving. The loss did not destroy you. Changed you, yes. It hardened certain parts of you, yes. But it did not end you. And if you have already survived the thing you are most afraid of, then what exactly are you protecting yourself from? You are protecting yourself from a memory. You are protecting yourself from the echo of a pain that has already passed. You are rearranging your entire life to avoid something that has already happened and that you have already proven you can survive. Let yourself want things again, Scorpio. Let yourself dream without immediately calculating the risk. Let yourself get excited without building an exit strategy. Let yourself love without holding back 30% just in case. Because that 30% you keep in reserve, that is not saving you. That is the very thing that keeps you from experiencing the fullness of what life is offering you. You deserve the full experience, not the muted version, not the safe version, the real, raw, unfiltered version. And yes, it might hurt sometimes, but the pain of fully living is nothing compared to the pain of never having lived at all. You already know this. You have always known it. You have just been too afraid to act on it. Until now. Tip 10. You have been carrying everyone else's weight, and your body, your mind, and your spirit are telling you it is time to put it down. You are the person people come to, Scorpio, when their world falls apart, when they need someone who can handle the heaviest truths, when they need someone who will not flinch at the darkness. They come to you, and you accept that role every single time. You sit with their pain. You absorb their fears. You carry their burdens alongside your own. And you do it without complaint, without acknowledgement, without ever asking anyone to do the same for you. This is who you are, and in many ways it is one of your greatest strengths. Your ability to hold space for others is unmatched. Your willingness to go to the dark places that everyone else avoids is a gift that the people in your life depend on, sometimes without even realizing how much they depend on it. But there is a cost, and that cost has been accumulating for years, quietly, steadily, like water filling a room from the bottom up. You did not notice it at first. You were too busy being strong. You were too busy being the anchor, the fortress, the unshakable one. But the water is at your chest now, Scorpio. And if you do not start releasing some of what you are carrying, it is going to reach your mouth. You are tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. The kind of tired that goes deeper than your bones. The kind of tired that makes you wonder why everything feels so heavy even when nothing specific is wrong. The kind of tired that shows up as irritability, as withdrawal, as a low-grade numbness that you cannot quite explain. That tiredness is your body telling you something your mind has been ignoring. You have been giving more than you have. You have been operating at a deficit for so long that the deficit itself has become normal. You do not even remember what it feels like to be fully resourced, fully charged, fully present in your own life without the weight of someone else's world on your shoulders. And the worst part is that you feel guilty even thinking about putting it down. You feel like if you stop carrying everyone else, you are abandoning them. You feel like your value is tied to your ability to absorb other people's pain. You feel like the moment you start prioritizing yourself, you will lose the people who depend on you. But hear me very clearly on this, Scorpio. The people who only stay because you carry their weight were never really with you to begin with. The people who love you, genuinely love you, want you to be well. They want you to have energy left for yourself. They want you to experience the same lightness and joy that you help create for them. If someone leaves because you stop being their emotional dumping ground, that departure is not a loss. It is a correction. It is the universe removing something that was draining you, so that something nourishing can take its place. You are allowed to set boundaries without providing an explanation. You are allowed to say that you do not have the capacity for someone else's crisis right now. You are allowed to turn off your phone, close your door, and sit in silence without feeling like you are letting someone down. You are allowed to need. You are allowed to ask. You are allowed to receive. Those are not weaknesses, Scorpio. Those are rights. writes that you have been denying yourself for far too long. Today, practice one small act of self-preservation. Do not answer the call you do not want to answer. Do not solve the problem that is not yours to solve. Do not show up for the person who never shows up for you. Put down one piece of weight that does not belong to you and notice how your shoulders feel without it. That feeling is freedom, and you have earned it. Scorpio, we have covered a lot today, and if you are still here, that tells me everything I need to know about where you are in your journey. You are not someone who walks away when things get heavy. You are not someone who avoids the truth because it makes you uncomfortable. You are the person who leans in, who digs deeper, who refuses to settle for surface-level answers when you know there is something more waiting underneath. And that is exactly why this moment matters so much. Because everything we talked about today, every pattern, every cycle, every habit that has been running in the background of your life, none of it was accidental. You attracted this message at this specific time because you are finally ready to hear it. Not intellectually ready. You have been intellectually ready for years. You are emotionally ready. You are spiritually ready. Something has shifted inside you, and even if you cannot put it into words, you can feel it. That feeling is not going to go away. It is going to grow. It is going to push you, gently at first and then with more force, toward the changes you have been circling around for longer than you care to admit. The patterns we discussed are not who you are, Scorpio. They are what you learned. They are survival strategies that served a purpose in a life that no longer exists. And letting them go does not mean letting go of yourself. It means letting go of the version of yourself that was built for a war that is already over. The real you, the you that exists beneath all those protective layers, is someone the world has not fully seen yet. And honestly, you have not fully seen that person either. But you are about to. Every time you choose trust over control, every time you speak your needs instead of testing whether someone can guess them, every time you release a resentment that has been burning inside you, every time you let yourself want something without bracing for its loss, you are peeling back another layer. And underneath all those layers is someone remarkable, someone deep and powerful and compassionate, and brave in ways that most people will never understand. You do not have to change everything at once. That is not how transformation works for your sign. You transform through depth, not speed. You go all the way through one thing before moving to the next. So choose one pattern from today, just one, and start there. Give it your full attention. Give it the same intensity you have been giving to the things that drain you. Redirect that fire toward your own healing, your own growth, your own liberation. And watch what happens when the most powerful sign in the zodiac finally turns that power inward, not to destroy, but to rebuild. You are ready for this. You have been ready for longer than you think. And the fact that you stayed until the very end of this message is all the proof you need. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving. The only question is whether you are.